So good evening and welcome to our program launch for the scouting year 2020 to 2021. In case you don't know who I am, my name is John Willemane, Council Vice President for Program, and I'm going to start us off this evening. And to begin, I'd like to do a quick safety moment. And in particular, this safety moment is geared toward our current COVID-19 situation. So you'll find this sheet in the packet that will be put out with all of the flyers and things. So feel free to use this for any of your events and activities. So basically what you do is you start at the top and you can adjust this. But basically the first question, if you've got somebody who's been in contact with anyone who has the virus or is otherwise sick, or if you've been in close contact with someone who's traveled, make sure that you disinvite them to the event. We really don't want them to be there. And notice it says an area with a known communicable disease. So this is not just COVID-19, but this would be any type of disease that is spread. You can use this for. So right now, the COVID-19 is our big focus. So if you have yes to either one of those, we really don't want them to be here. Also, if you're in a high risk category, 65 and above, or have had some medical conditions, then you probably should consider staying home. But if you do choose to participate, you want to make sure your healthcare provider will give you the permission to do that. So now if you get beyond that, then you want to just check how you're feeling. So we start with our little tree. If you have any one of these symptoms, shortness of breath, dry cough, fever, then you don't want to come to the event. If you have none of those, but then you do have two of these, a cough, muscle fatigue, rash, sore throat, then again, you want to ask the people to stay home. So, you know, we know it's difficult in our environment to ask people to stay home, but that is something that we want to make sure that everybody is safe. So there's our safety moment. As we go through, if you have questions, you can type them into the chat, and then Greg or I will try to get back to you with answers as we go along. Okay, so let's talk about why program launch. Well, one of the things that, one of the reasons I played that video, and those of you who were at the annual meeting last weekend or last Tuesday saw that video already, but I wanted to remind us about what we're doing here. Yes, we're all about the aims, character building, citizenship training and things, but it's the methods, the fun, right? The ideals, the uniform, and especially the outdoor program. So program launch is a tool that we've put together, a planning tool to help you do your job as unit leaders to provide the best possible program for your units. If you attend Scoutmaster specific, and I'm sure this is the same in training for Cubs and venturing leaders, the first step in an annual planning process is to do your homework. You know, you want to find out what things are available to support your program. You don't have to go it alone. So tonight, that's one of the things we're doing with program launch. There'll be a few people speaking, like I am right now, on some very specific topics. There's a jam-packed packet that it will be available. And the most important thing to watch is the council calendar. Because as much as we plan these things for certain events, sometimes things do change. So keep your eye on the council calendar. We may add something, we may have to delete it, it may move. But the council calendar is the most up-to-date, and it will be populated very soon with everything going forward that we're talking about this evening. And then the last thing I want to mention at this point is the COVID-19 with a little caveat. And Greg is going to speak a little bit more about this later in the program. But the important thing to remember is that all of these activities, especially this fall, we're planning to do them in person. We will all have to make sure that we follow whatever protocols are in place, masks, social distancing, hand washing, sanitation, all of those sanitizing things, all those kinds of things. But there also exists the possibility, if there's a resurgence of this, that the government will have to shut us down. So we might lose some of these activities, especially in the fall, that we're currently planning. So again, just keep that in mind, and please make sure that you check the council calendar and the website to keep up to date on that. Okay, so those are the preliminaries. That's why we're here. The district and council activities are there to help units, do the best possible program. So let me mention a few of the council activities that are coming up this year that we want you to be aware of. The first one is the 75th anniversary of the Moses Scout Reservation. Now, unfortunately, we had planned to celebrate this all summer long with our programs at summer camp, which unfortunately have been, were put on hold because of COVID-19. But we are still planning to do a day-long activity on Saturday, September 19th. It will go from 9 a.m. to roughly 9 p.m. WOA is running that day from 9 to 3. So there will be activities that people who haven't been to camp for a while can see the camp in action. But also, if you want to bring your family with you, there will be activities they can actually participate in for the first half of it. And then the second half, we'll have lots of displays of the history of the reservation. We're going to have a dinner, a good camp type dinner, and then some kind of an evening program, maybe a campfire. Our first planning meeting is this Thursday evening. If you are interested, and I've invited some people, but if you want to join me, please email me and let me know that you'd like to join in, and I'll be more than happy to send you an invite to my meeting on Thursday night. Second thing I want to mention is the Moses 911 Spring Camporee. So last year, we had put this great program together in conjunction with the local Civil Air Patrol. It's emergency preparedness based, and they want to use this as an opportunity to do some training on trying to find downed aircraft that would be on the reservation, but also not just flying over to find them, but also have people on the ground to go out. And so we're going to mix our Scouts, BSA, Venturers, and Explorers in with the Civil Air Patrol and have lots of activities related to emergency preparedness as well. So because we could not do this in May like we originally anticipated, we do want to do this program. So we're going to do it the weekend of May 7th to the 9th next year. So this will be our council-wide spring camporee. So we hope that you'll be interested in attending that. If you want to help out with that, you can contact myself or Steve Scannell. And the last thing I will mention on council activities is the Council Pinewood Derby, which of course we couldn't run this year. We don't have a specific date just yet. It will be late April, early May. We're going back to Marcotte Ford and Holyoke, so we have to work with them on finding an appropriate date. So we haven't had a chance to do that. But once all the district Pinewood Derbies are done, we will run our Council Pinewood Derby next year. So those are some of the activities council-wide that I wanted to mention. And then just a quick thing on summer camp. So we know that we have not been able to do our summer camp programs. We are part of Camp Kindalika, which has started last week and is in its second week now. It's a virtual camp. But we also want to give our Cub Scouts and our Scouts BSA and Venturers an opportunity to come to camp and participate live in some of the activities that they normally would have done during the summer. So we're putting aside September 12th to the 13th, Saturday and Sunday, for Cub Scouts. And Scouts BSA, we're going to take advantage of Columbus Day weekend, come in Saturday morning and leave on Monday, Columbus Day. So there'll be a lot more information coming out. Watch the council website and the calendar for the details of those 2 weekends as we come up. And then just very quickly, 2021, there's a flyer that has all these dates in the packet. NYLT is running June 26th to July 2nd. Cub Day Camps, we are planning to do our 4 weeks at Moses beginning July 5th. We need some help with those. If you'd like to come and help us with day camps, please let us know. The Lennox camp, last year, the plan was to run it concurrently with one of the Moses weeks. We may still do that. We may move it later. We've got, that hasn't been determined yet. So keep your eye open for those of you in AT who might want to go to day camp at Lennox. The Moses, we are going to be busing. And if we have enough interest from the AT area, we can get a bus from there as well to Moses for any of or all of those 4 weeks. And then Scouts BSA Resident Camp, again, 3 weeks, beginning Sunday, July 4th. That would be the first day of the first week of camp. And then Cub Resident Camp at the end of the, the last week of July is going to be the Cub Resident Camp week. So those are some summer camp updates. More details will be coming out. Keep your eye on the council website. So that's all I have at this point. If you have questions, you can pop them into the chat and I'll see if I can answer them as we go through the rest of the program. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing and leave you.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ellie Matro. I'm the Assistant District Commissioner for Roundtables from the General Knox District. Roundtables are a free supplemental training. They provide program ideas, resources, district information, networking, and we can't forget the best part, fun. These trainings are for all leaders, including our youth leadership, our den chiefs, senior patrol leaders, OA, crew, and ship officers. The virtual roundtable format actually makes it easier for our youth leaders to be able to attend the roundtables. So coming up with the 2021 calendar, I want to thank all of the commissioners, the roundtable commissioners from around the district and around the council who have spent their time putting together this calendar. We ask that with the virtual roundtables, you please pre-register through the council website so that you can choose whether you want to attend the Cub Scout or the Scouts BSA crew and ship breakout sessions. I hope to see you very soon at our virtual roundtables. Thanks so much.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joshua Hall, and I am the Council Commissioner for the Western Massachusetts Council. And I would like to take the opportunity to welcome you all here tonight. As Ellie just mentioned, one of the most important things about Scouting is the program, and John has mentioned this as well. That's what we're here for, and information. And so being able to attend roundtables, getting information is extremely important because by having information available, we are able to continue to serve the youth in our council, in our districts, in our units. So that is one of the major reasons why you are here tonight, is to find out information. So as your council commissioner, I have a couple of things that I just briefly like to talk about in order to give you some information, and then move on to a couple of other things. To begin with, thank you for everything that you do. COVID-19 has not stopped Scouting in the Western Massachusetts Council. Clearly, with all of the efforts that you have put forward, you have still been able to provide a program to your youth, and that is amazing. As a commissioner, that is something that brings a smile to my face, because even though we aren't able to physically get together with each other, we still are able to see that units are giving their scouts ideas, that there are programs like online merit badges, Camp Kinda Lika, and so on that have kept our scouts involved. And because scouting is a year-long program, there are so many things that our youth are going to be able to work on continuing throughout the summer. So, as John mentioned, it's important to keep up to date on what is on the website so that you know what's going on. And as Ellie said, it's important to come to Roundtable so that way you keep up with what is new at the moment in terms of Roundtable. As a commissioner, it's all about unit service, and there is no more rewarding thing than unit service, because as a commissioner, you have the opportunity to see everybody in action. So here's my shameless plug. We always need more commissioners. So if you are in need of something to do, if you are interested in the opportunity to get involved with one unit or maybe 2 units, if you are looking to be that person who is able to help our units succeed, get in touch with me. I have something that you might be able to do. It's called commissioning. It is a wonderful opportunity. Please consider doing commissioning. Along those lines, as a commissioner, one of the most fun opportunities is recruitment. And I know that Cheryl and Art will be talking about recruitment later on. Recruitment is so important because it is what keeps us growing. It's what allows us to grow. So recruitment, just like scouting, is something that happens all year long. It's not just something that takes place in September or October. It takes place all year long. As a commissioner, you can help with that. The other fun thing about commissioning is rechartering, making sure that our units recharter and recharter on time. And this is a process. And I'm sure there was a collective groan that went through that I couldn't hear when we mentioned rechartering. It is inevitable. It's something that happens every year. And we get through it. We survive. But one of the things that we need to keep in mind when it comes to rechartering is Journey to Excellence. What have you been doing? What's been going on? Have your scouts been advancing? Did you go camping? Have you done any summer activities? All of these parts of program, which you can find the information on the website and by coming to Roundtable, that information is available. So keep in mind as you go through, and your commissioner can help you with this, what Journey to Excellence, what you're doing in order to tick the boxes for Journey to Excellence. Now, because of COVID-19, there are going to be a couple of accommodations, but keep that in mind. The other major thing to keep in mind also, and when you get your packet, you'll see that I've put something in there, is for rechartering, youth protection training. Youth protection training is something that the Boy Scouts of America was one of the forerunners to develop. And it is a program that we have to take training that we have to take every 2 years. Many of us took the training in 2018, which means that, yep, it's 2020. That means our 2 years are up. So therefore, when it comes to rechartering, when it comes to re-registering, you need to make sure that your youth protection is current. It's a very simple thing to do. You can check your My.Scouting profile and check and see if your youth protection training is up. If it is running out in 2018, even if it's running out December 31st, 2020, take your youth protection training, re-up your youth protection training. Because I guarantee if you wait until December 31st, 2020 to take it, it's not going to be able to work because everybody else who waited till the last minute is going to want to take youth protection training so that they don't have their commissioner going, did you take youth protection training? Take your youth protection training now. Do it now. And you'll have a happy commissioner. And happy commissioners mean happy council commissioner. So those are a couple of updates concerning concerning commissioning. The other item that I wanted to quickly talk about that you'll see in the packet that will be sent to you is advancement and recognition. And there are so many things that are going on in terms of advancement and recognition. We just had our annual meeting and we had the awarding of the 3 Silver Beavers for the 2020 annual year. But in terms of our Scouts, our Cub Scouts and our Scouts BSA, there are many opportunities that are going on during the summer. You need to make sure that you know about all of those opportunities, whether they're Camp Kinda Lika, the online merit badges that are available, and so on. And more importantly, make sure that that information gets to council. If you are using an outside council opportunity, that's wonderful, but you need to make sure that that information gets to our council in order to make sure you get credit for it. Along those lines, a couple of things that we're hoping to do over the year. We are hoping that we will have the opportunity to have an event called Beltapalooza, which will be an opportunity for Cub Scouts to earn belt loops. And also, we're hoping that we will be able to run Merit Badge University again this year, that APO will have the opportunity to do that. But as John mentioned, once again, we are at the mercy of COVID-19. So we will hope that everything will go okay and that 2021 will be a stellar year for the Western Massachusetts Council. Thank you, everybody, for your attention, and I hope to see you soon along the Scouting Trail.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eddie Brandon, and I'm the current Pecumtuck Lodge Chief. COVID-19 has affected every aspect of life, but we're not going to let that disrupt our lodge and its activities. So next month, we have 3 scheduled OA days that will consist of a day of service followed by an ice cream social. The dates for those are the 11th, 18th, and 25th of July, and anyone who attends will receive a limited edition Pecumtuck Summer Experience patch. The registration for these events is on our website. And we've been holding virtual elections, and we hope to start holding in-person elections when we are allowed, both of which can be scheduled through the council website. We plan to host our fall ordeal in September, hopefully giving us enough time for the COVID-19 restrictions to be lifted. The requirements for incoming airmen has also been changed as a result of COVID-19, as the camping requirement can now be fulfilled during virtual campouts. However, no more than 3 nights of virtual camping are allowed to be credited in 1 month. Continued, the time frame a newly elected airman has to complete their ordeal has been extended from 12 months to 24 months, giving candidates plenty of time to complete their ordeal. Our plans for Pecumtuck Village have been postponed, but we will continue working to prepare the site for next year. I ask those of you who have not already to follow Pecumtuck Lodge on social media for updates and upcoming events. And if anyone has any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself or to our lodge advisor, Andrew Dufall. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Dave O'Leary, and I'm here to talk about High Adventure. So the Scout High Adventure programs are the programs for older Scouts, and we have several opportunities coming up here in the next couple of years. Unfortunately, this year, a lot of the opportunities are not available. Is the screen sharing correctly there? I gotta zoom.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay. Okay. So we have 2 opportunities in 2021 and 1 in 2022. Again, these are big trips going to distant places to do fun and exciting things. So they take a little time to plan. But the good news is, here in the council, you have help. You're not on your own sorting this out. Our council high adventure committee helps to plan what we call council contingent trips. That's where scouts and adults from different Scouts BSA troops and venturing crews and Sea Scout ships can come together and go on one of these scheduled trips. We work out the dates, we define the budget, all that sort of thing, and then help you get ready for the trip. So I'll talk about these 3 opportunities first, and then talk just a minute more about the High Adventure Committee and what we can do and how we can help you. So our first opportunity is going to the Florida Sea Base down in the Florida Keys. That's this upcoming April 2021. You can see the dates here on the screen, and all of this is also in your packet and posted on the council website, so you don't need to quickly scribble all of this down now. But this trip is scheduled during the most common spring break week for schools. So departure on Friday, April 16th, returning on the evening of Monday the 26th. You'd miss 1 day of school, but during that week, you get to go to Florida, spend some time after arriving, and we're working out the details on that trip, probably visiting the Everglades and doing some other things in the first day and a half after arrival, and then go to the Florida Sea Base. You spend a week sailing on a 75-foot yacht. It's pretty cool. You sleep on board the ship, and it's not just a vacation, though. You actually have to work cooking meals and helping to sail the ship, so you learn a lot in the process. Again, there's information about that on the council website. Another opportunity in 2021 is the BSA's National Jamboree. This event happens every 4 years, and it's open to scouts ages 12 and over. You have to be age 12 at the start date of the Jamboree in July of 2021. The event is held at the Summit Bechtel Reserve, which is in the mountains in southern West Virginia. It's a relatively new site for BSA, but it's like a giant summer camp with a big lake where you have aquatics activities, a wide range of shooting sports. There are long zip lines, some of the longest in the country. A huge amount of fun things to do, and you'll be there with tens of thousands of other scouts and adults. Again, there's more information about this on the council website. You can also contact Greg, myself, or Bob Waltz if you have questions about Jamboree and if you're interested in signing up. In addition to youth members and venturers attending Jamboree, we also need adults to go to serve as the adult leaders for the contingent trip. And then the Jamboree is also recruiting staff to work at the Jamboree. So again, information is available at that website and in the packet. The third opportunity is just in development. The Philmont Scout Ranch is a huge property in northeastern New Mexico in the mountains. And the trip there involves backpacking between outpost sites around the property and participating in a wide variety of different activities: black powder shooting, rock climbing. There's a ton of different things to do, and each day you do a different activity, and you get to experience this mountain climbing and backpacking throughout the Philmont property. And so these dates are not firm yet because the reservation is not open yet, but we'll know the exact dates later this fall. But it's basically a 3-week trip, of which half is on the Philmont property. The other half is touring around and visiting sites in New Mexico and Colorado. And Kevin Duncan is the contact there. And again, we'll need advisors to go with the crew. So again, those are 3 opportunities that are coming up in the next couple of years. And our High Adventure Committee works to plan these coordinated council trips. So if you're interested, you can reach out to Kevin Duncan, who chairs the committee, myself, or Greg Williams. In addition to the council trips, we can also help your troop or your crew plan a trip to one of these bases that I talked about, Philmont in New Mexico, the Sea Base in Florida. There are also national high adventure bases at Northern Tier in Minnesota and Canada, where you'll go on a wilderness canoe trip. The Summit base, which in addition to Jamboree, provides high adventure trek programs. We've had crews go to the high adventure base run by the council in Maine, where you canoe in the Allagash River or the Penobscot River, hike in Baxter State Park. There are several high adventure opportunities in the Adirondack Park in New York State. So however your troop and your older scouts are interested in participating in high adventure, definitely get in touch.
Good evening. My name is Hunter McCormick, and I serve as the Appalachian Trail District Chairman. And in the packet that will be sent out to everyone, you're going to see a pretty complete calendar of AT program and training events. And I wanted to be certain that everyone took the time to look at those. And I know that many of the participants here are from General Knox and Metacomet districts. That's fine. The AT district is happy to have as many participants from all 3 of our districts as would like to join. So when you take a look at that calendar, you'll see the dates run from July of this year through December of 2021. Should give plenty of time for units to add these items to their unit calendars as they're planning. As John Willamay mentioned at the beginning, our plan is to offer all these events in person whenever possible and to honor the date commitments we make on the calendar, but understand that there may be some changes that happen out of necessity due to the current situation and the unknown impact that that's going to have as we continue on through the calendar year. The couple things I want to note about that, one of the hardest struggles we have, just like the other districts, just like our units, just like the council, and just like the organization as a whole, is the staffing needed to run all these events effectively. If there are any unit leaders that have an interest in supporting us by serving on the staff for a training event, for a Cub Scout or a Scouts BSA activity, please let me know. I'll be happy to put you in touch with the event chairperson and be able to engage you in that process. I would also like to highlight the fact that please consider adding these events to your unit's calendar early. You can rely pretty reasonably on the calendar, and it would be great to engage with more of our units in our activities and to have this be a better place for getting our units together to share in the brotherhood of scouting. And lastly, we have registration up for our events usually about 3 months out, if not further, yet we continue to struggle getting pre-registration out 2 weeks before an event. To that, I would say, please plan to pre-register early. That helps our staff better accommodate different numbers of people. So that way we have the right number of patches, we have the right number of supplies, we have the right number of staff to support the program that we're putting on for the number of participants we can expect. If you have to add or take away numbers as we get closer to the event, not a problem, but certainly pre-register. So with that, thank you all, and we look forward to having as many of you as possible join the Appalachian Trail District for this coming year's programs.
And Kathy, are you here for General Knox? I'm here.
There you go.
Hello. So far for General Knox, I just heard back from Jeff Hines actually this evening. He couldn't make tonight's meeting, but he wanted me to let everybody know that for Klondike this year, he's planning on doing it at that I believe it's the same park that it was at last year, School Street Park in Agawam, and he's going to do a superhero theme. And the Cantors are still on board to do the Yukon Derby as well. And I believe Lynn is planning on doing Fall Fun Day as well. So other than that, I don't have anything else in the works. Oh, yes, I do. I'm sorry. In the fall, Troop 90 is planning on putting together a fall camporee for the for General Knox at Moses. And all the dates are on the calendar, and they will also be in the packet that comes out tonight. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Greg, I will go, if that works for everyone. So my name is Mark Maloney. I'm the Metacomet District Chairman. And, I'm going to echo a lot of the things Hunter said, which will annoy him, but it's all true. And like Kathy said, our calendar's out. We have a few things that are to be announced. We have a district kickoff planned for August 15th. We don't know if we'll actually be able to do that yet. The district committee meetings are Zoom until further notice. Roundtable is the same. We do have a Cub Fall Fun Day planned. We stuck with the date of October 3rd. We're not sure yet. The plan is to be in Franklin County. So what I would like to say to the unit leaders out there is please get in touch with me. If you're interested in either hosting or helping to host a fun day, a fall fun day, or Yukon days, or Klondike Derby, or what have you. Also in the fall, Mike Zlogar is chairing the Woodsman Weekend Fall Camporee for the Scouts BSA. It will be in the same location as it was a few years ago, Cole's Tree Farm in Deerfield or Conway. It kind of splits it. The other stuff on the district calendar for now is pretty self-explanatory. We're looking for a host for Yukon Days for Cub Scouts. The date is January 30th. Theoretically, we'd like somebody in Hampshire County. The one pack has stepped forward with a maybe, but what I would say really is if you're interested at all, please get in touch with me or a committee member. Let us know. And we'd like to talk to you. Same thing Hunter mentioned before about the staffing. As district committees, we're running pretty slim, and we can use as much help as possible. For these events, which are a good way for the Scouts and the Cubs to get to know kids in other units in the district, we need more help, more adult help, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a den leader or something. It can be any adult with YPT. So please think about it and get back to us as soon as possible. Klondike Derby is scheduled for February 13th, 14th. We're not sure yet where that's going to be. As everyone else here has said, so much is dependent upon the pandemic continuity and so forth. The other thing I would like to say, a lot of you know me from my years of doing Friends of Scouting presentations, not just in Metacomet, but in AT and GK too. So that continues to happen, although not in person. And everybody should have gotten a notification from the council about FOS fundraising. And if you can do it with your units, that'd be great. Virtually, of course. And yeah, the same is true. It will continue to be true for the immediate future. The other thing I want to talk about briefly from a district perspective is, and I think Josh made mention of getting the YPT done. Now is a great time to get that stuff done. I have sent out to my den leaders 2 or 3 reminders. So hopefully if we can get that done before the fall season begins and the recruitment drive begins, it's going to make everybody's life a lot easier. And it absolutely needs to be done. And encourage any adult who has anything to do with your units or the program to do IPT anyways. It's going to benefit everybody in the long run. The more adults we have who are youth protection certified, the better off for all of us. And I think that's about it for me. So with that, Greg, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, this is Cheryl Isaac, and I'm Vice President Membership, and I am going to share my screen with you, I hope. If it will come up. There we go. So as you know, our theme in 2020 is all in for scouting, but this hasn't been a usual year, anything but we're scouts. We found a way to keep going. We're very resourceful folks. That's in our training. So we've been able to keep on scouting. And even though the summer isn't what we expected, we're having summer, we're doing virtual camping, we're getting outside, and we're all in for scouting. We've had a lot of challenges. We still have challenges, and I'm afraid there are many more ahead to come, particularly when we're talking about growing scouting now and in the fall. All this due to the quarantine and some of the other restrictions that we've had. Membership growth relies on 2 things: retaining our current membership and recruiting new families to join the scouting movement. So how do we proceed? Number 1, the most important thing we can all do is to keep meeting this summer. That doesn't mean the same kinds of meetings we've always had. Try something different, guest speakers, some virtual competitions, some things to get outside. We've heard about Scout Car Parade to celebrate advancements, virtual field trips, some kinds of service projects. But whatever you do, give your kids a chance to lead. Keep your families and all of your scouts engaged. Most important, have fun. Now, the other important thing to do is to market scouting. I was recently on a national webinar, and I heard the statement, surround your community with scouting. Doesn't that sound great? Let everybody know what you're doing. Publicize the good things that your scouts are doing, the way they're helping the community, the way they're keeping engaged. We have the opportunities, maybe community bulletin boards. If the local papers are still publishing, get that stuff out. Communicate with your chartered organization. They're probably looking for good news to put out to their membership. And the third thing we should be doing is recruit now. Thank you, Joshua, for letting everybody know. Recruitment, growing membership is something we do all the time. Invite non-scouts to a unit event or to a council virtual event. Let whoever's organizing the event know that you're going to invite someone. Help a friend register. Participate in our virtual recruiter campaign and earn this patch that you see up here on the screen. Now, some of you may have heard that there will be some new fees for BSA. These are national fees. They're not the council. These are coming from BSA National. We expect to start August 1st, a one-time joining fee for new members, a slight increase in the registration fee for youth and adults, and also at charter renewal time, an increase in the charter renewal fee. But these are all national fee increases. We're all in for scouting, and we are going to have fall recruitment. All in for Scouting Week is September 14th to the 18th. If we're allowed to do in-person recruitments, if we're allowed into the schools, we'll be there. Otherwise, we're going to do this online, virtual recruiting. We're going to have peer-to-peer recruitment. a second All In for Scouting Week in November, and more peer-to-peer recruitment in December, so that PACs can earn a discount on their Pinewood Derby car kits. Please read all the information that you're going to be getting this evening in the launch packet. There are details on all of these things and more besides. Let us know what you need. Order your recruitment supplies now, and we're going to be holding a day on Saturday, August 22nd at Moses, where you can pick up your yard signs, your posters, whatever you've ordered, so that you're prepared for the fall. Right now, we've got some opportunities over the summer, thanks to the National BSA membership team. They're offering national membership webinars twice a month. The next one is this week, Wednesday evening. In your packet, you will find a listing of how you can register. Register in advance, tune in, and get the information to help you do some virtual recruitment. Most importantly, tell us how you're engaging your scouts. Show us how you're marketing your unit. Use social media, whatever tools you have, to get the word out that scouting is an important movement, what our kids and families need. So join us all in for scouting in 2020. Greg, I'll turn it back to you now.
Thank you, Cheryl. It certainly has been an interesting start of my career here with the Western Massachusetts Council with programming. And probably the question we've gotten the most in the recent weeks is, when can we start meeting again in person? And I'm going to share some information with you. And you've seen that we opened up our trading posts at the Pittsfield and the Westfield location this week. And our Council Service Center offices are also open for our staff. We're asking people if they would make appointments before coming in. But we are ready to allow some in-person scouting to occur very soon. So I wanted to kind of just walk through how we got here. And I'm not going to read all of this to you, but certainly March 12th, we made the recommendation based on what was happening to make the decision for yourself. And a lot of the council and district events, the staff were working with those chair people and working with the council key three to make decisions. It very quickly, within 2 days, we had a lot more information. Things were closing down around our state. We closed our offices through April and strongly recommended people to stop meeting in person. And then April 3rd, the council put out a notice banning all in-person activities in any way, shape, or form at that point in time. So we jumped ahead almost a month and a half to May, and we put out just another notice that we're going to continue that as we move forward. June 1st, our governor said, hey, it's time for phase 2. And put out some guidelines, but in that phase 2, there was a lot of information that was unclear about how it affected youth serving programs and our scouting programs. And one of the things we had to do at the council level is to really look at what is scouting and how is it being defined by the state of Massachusetts under these circumstances. So we quickly realized that we run retail stores. There was clear guidance for that. The business offices had clear guidance. And then we looked at youth serving programs, the aspect that what most people think of as scouting, and had to recognize that our council and districts are running some of these programs that we have ownership of, our units, which are truly a part of their chartering organization, right? The council doesn't own those groups. It's the youth groups of those chartering organizations that are providing programming, and they have different requirements. And then the programming and availability of just our Moses Scout reservation to our scouters and our units. So as you have likely seen, and I indicated before, today we've opened both of our in-person trading posts, and there are some reduced hours just to allow for cleaning and at the beginning and start of the day, particularly in Westfield. Pittsfield, Gail has the regular hours resumed. Westfield does have Monday night hours again. At this time, we do not have Saturday hours. And then our online trading post for Moses is still open, and we are working towards being able to provide an in-store pickup of items that are on our Moses trading post. So look for that in the near future. As I said, our business offices are open, and employees are in generally. Some folks that share space are using split work shifts, and some of us are continuing to do some telework hours to keep the numbers down in the office. But if you do have something that you need to meet with one of our professional staffs and our office staff, please make an appointment with them so that we know that you're coming, and we can make sure that we have the appropriate number of people in our workspace. So thinking about youth serving programs, as of today, we are going to allow some programs to resume, and this will all be in the packet as well as some additional guidance. So I'm going to start at the council and different district programs. Medium and large size programs are still not allowed by the state. Smaller things, maybe committee meetings or small gatherings of that sort, we will be looking at with the people that chair those activities and those meetings to make sure that all of the minimum health and safety standards are in place and that it's safe to do so, and authorizing those on a one-to-one basis at this point in time. And we will do that in writing. So that may be, most likely it will be an email so that they know that it has been approved. Units, starting at this point in time, may consider meeting in person. All right, I'm going to read this. The ban on in-person scouting at the unit level is lifted as of today for units that receive written charter organization authorization to resume in-person unit scouting activities. That clearly indicates whether the chartering organization does or does not have their own restrictions or guidelines in addition to the federal, state, and local requirements. Again, those units belong to the chartering organization. So if that organization falls under a aspect of the state regulations that have more restrictive guidance, that needs to be followed. And also the chartering organization may choose their own safety precautions at this point in time, which may be that we're not comfortable resuming at this point in time. So it's also important to understand that in doing so, the chartering organization and the unit leadership, the committee, the adult leaders, the unit leader, share full responsibility for ensuring that all of the units' in-person scouting activities comply with the minimum health and safety requirements of, again, both the chartering organization and then federal, state, and local government. So we don't want to prevent that from happening for small groups and where they have the safety precautions in place to do so and have the permission to do so. But not everybody's going to decide that it's the right time for them to do so. I'll come back to just a few more points in a moment. Up at Moses Scout Reservation, day use will be permitted starting this Friday, June 26th, for small groups. We will have a login and a log out book at the Manor House for visitors. And there will be extremely limited services and facilities there, but day hiking, is an example of using that space that's up there. So unit leaders will be asked to check in, sign into the book, and there will be questions there about, have you done a pre-activity check, and for you to fill in. We'll talk about that a bit in a moment. And then, as you can see there, the unit leaders will verify that they've done that screening. And we're going to ask them to please hold on to those records for at least 21 days. We know 14 days is kind of the incubation period for contact tracing, that if something were to come up, we'd want to go back to the various groups. Overnight use is not permitted in the state of Massachusetts at this point in time for youth programs. It is somewhere in phase 3, but we cannot set a date for that, and the guidelines have not been clearly defined yet for us. This is just reminding us kind of we start at the federal, state, local level. The Boy Scouts have allowed this to occur. The council is now giving permission. You need to go through your charting organization and then ensure that you can meet all of the requirements. A reminder that there is still a safer at home advisory, that although you can do this, if you don't need to, and folks are still advised to stay home, and people over the age of 65 and people with underlying health conditions who are at higher risk should continue to stay at home and are most certainly encouraged to speak with their health provider before resuming Scout activities. These are just some resources that will be in the packet again of state and federal guidelines, including the American Camp Association Camp Operation Guidelines. There's some wonderful information in there just about thinking about sanitizing and thinking about food activities. On a day activity, there's probably not a great need for food, but perhaps you're going on a hike. There will be some additional guidance in the packet for you as well about thinking about how to do food without having to do group food service and serving. It looks like I stopped my screen sharing. I'm going to share just one more thing here. I don't expect you to be able to read this, but in the packet, these are the guidelines I was saying that will talk you through things to think about in starting activities with your unit. And it talks about things to think about during the day. There will also be, this is from the Boy Scouts of America, a Restart Scouting checklist that is from the national office. There's a 2-page guidance there. It's going to be very similar to the things that Western Mass is showing. And then these pre-event medical screening that John shared at the beginning as our part of the safety moment. You do not have to use this form. You can create your own form. You might even make a chart on a single page that you keep track of everything, but find a way to do a pre-screening and keep track of who is with you and keep track and hold on to that for a period of time in case something were to come up. I know there's going to be likely a lot of questions. Unfortunately, I don't have all of those answers, but work with your charting organization and we'll certainly help as we can as we go forward. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our guest from Trails End.
Thanks, Greg. Give me 1 second to screen share.
Oh, yep.
All right. Where is it? Here we go.
All right. While he's getting that set up, this is Vincent Price. He's joining us from Trails End, and he'll be telling you about some of the programs of our new popcorn program that Art Lobdell has been working with him.
All right. So as Greg said, my name is Vincent Price. That is not a mistake. My mom was a big time horror movie fan. So when she got the opportunity, she took it. Most kids get Disney when they're kids. I got a Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. So you can imagine how fun of a upbringing I had. But it was all good stuff. But in terms of what I do, I am I help along with Gary Rosenfeld. We both work the Northeast region. And in addition to that, I am also in charge of shipping popcorn for the Northeast region as well. So I'm the guy that's going to make sure the product gets there when it's supposed to and without any issues. So from a Trails In standpoint, as you know, we've been around for a long time. In fact, we've helped to sell over $4 billion in popcorn, as well as $4 billion returned to scouting since 1980. The good thing about selling with Trails In is that you're going to get a 73% return to scouting. You're able to fund your unit's scouting program. Scouts are able to build character, and not only that, but they also build confidence as well. And with our help, you're going to be able to improve the council's resources as well. A little bit about what I'm going to talk to you guys on is the Trails In app, Trails In Rewards, Trails In Online, and the Trails In Facebook community. So last year we came out with an app, and the whole goal was to really make the popcorn sale a lot easier. Obviously popcorn is around to help fundraise, but sometimes it can feel like having a second job. And what we wanted to do was not only make it easier, but to make sure we were giving time back to the unit leaders. And so we set out to make an app, and some of the things that we really focused on was, well, hey, how can we help with inventory? So now through our app, you're able to get visibility on inventory, regardless of where the scouts are selling from. So if you have scouts at multiple storefronts, you're able to look in the app and see not only what they're selling, but how much they have in inventory. Another feature we added was that you're now able to take credit cards. So one of those things that we wanted to do was, we talked about character building and making sure that kids feel good. Well, by being able to take credit cards, you can now turn some of those no's into yeses. Now, I myself, just full transparency, I'm guilty of walking past a Girl Scout and they're selling cookies and they're like, hey, would you like to buy some cookies? Well, sorry, I don't have any cash on me. Well, now that's okay because we take credit cards as well. So one of the key benefits from our app was that, as I spoke to, you had the credit card processing. But not only that, Trails In pays for the credit card fees. So as long as the transaction is ran through the app, we're going to take care of those fees, no problem. One of the things I already spoke to, real-time tracking and reporting of sales. So you're not only going to get the opportunity to see where the inventory is, but you're going to get to see how the sales are going as well. And it breaks it down to the point where it's going to tell you how much you've taken in cash, how much you've taken in credit, how much has been done at storefronts or take orders or online. So it's really cool. Another cool thing that it does is that it calculates scout sales for the Trails In Rewards. So as you know, when scouts sell, obviously you want to reward them for their hard work. So in the app, you're going to be able to see where they're at in their rewards. And it's also going to show you like how close they are to reaching their goal. So that's a cool aspect. Something new that we're doing this year is something called Online Direct, which I'll touch on a little bit later. But that's pretty much our online selling program. And this year, you're going to be able to actually do that from the app, which is a function that was not available last year. And starting July 1st, scouts will be able to do door-to-door orders with the app as well. So generally, we push that toward the take order, but we are making it available so that the scouts can use the app as soon as July 1st hits. They can use it from a door-to-door standpoint. Now, in terms of the app rolling it out last year, we saw pretty good results. In terms of adoptability, the app was used by roughly 74% of the scouts who were selling, which is phenomenal considering it was the first year. So with last year's results, we saw that the app was used by over 14,500 units and over 160,000 scouts. For any units that ran more than 75% of their sales through the app, they saw a growth of roughly 10%. And because we added the credit card feature, as you know, generally adults carry $20 on them because as an adult, we always think that $20 will cover anything, whether it's gas or this or that. But if you paid with a credit card last year, you tend to spend a little more. And so through credit card transactions, they were actually up roughly 27% higher than cash transactions. Now, I told you about this wonderful app. If you'd like to get it, it is available on not only iOS, but Android as well. And as I spoke to earlier, with the app, you're going to be able to take debit and credit. Scouts do have to have their own account registered to the app, but you can use the same email for multiple accounts. So if you have multiple kids, you can use the same email. And then again, you're going to be able to record all of your sales in the app as well as take order sales as well. Now, these 4 pictures right here, they just give you a general idea of how the app looks. It did not look like this last year. Last year, it looked a little older, but as you can see, it's gotten a facelift. And this is what the various screens look like. So your first one, you have your point of sale, your payment screen. This third one is going to show you what the storefront scheduling looks like, which is a very cool feature. And then last but certainly not least, your sales tracking. And as you can see, it has a breakdown of the storefront sales, the wagon sales, and the online sales. And then just below that, where it says payment type, you can see what you've taken in cash, as well as credit and debit. And if you look at the top next to the crown, that's your sales goal, which a scout can set as soon as they log into the app. And then to the left of that is going to show you how far away you are from reaching that goal. So, I'm talking about this app, and it's cool that you can take credit cards, and it's cool that you can take, sell through this thing at the show and sells and take orders. But the app really doesn't do you any good if you don't know how to use it, right? So to kind of train people on how to use it, we are having these webinars taking place right now. Last year we did 20. This year we're doing over 200. So regardless of what kind of schedule you're working, you should be able to get into some kind of webinar this year. If you like to register, you can do so at www.trails-n.com/webinars. I can tell you as a rep, we are required to be on every one of these webinars. And not only that, we have a policy this year where it's every question asked, every question answered. So we literally cannot leave until every question has been answered. And I can tell you that the last webinars tend to start at 9:30 p.m. And sometimes we're up to like 1 o'clock answering questions. So if you do sign up for a webinar and there's even the slightest thing that you're curious about, go ahead and ask your question, because at the end of the day, after you take this webinar, we want to make sure that you feel as comfortable with the app as we are. All right, so next I'm going to talk about Online Direct. So Online Direct is really multiple things, but the main thing is that it's the Trails N solution for COVID. As you know, COVID just swept through the nation, and we really weren't ready for it. It was just January, but we were out living life, having a good time, and then next thing you know, you can't come out of your house. Well, with the nation slowly but surely opening back up, there are some people who still aren't comfortable with doing things like going door to door or selling in front of a storefront. And so Online Direct is kind of our way to not only help with that, but to kind of put some people at ease. So maybe you have some parents who really don't want their children standing out front. But with Online Direct, that is not an issue, because what Online Direct does is it sells the same products that you would see at the storefronts and the door-to-door sales through the online page. Now, last year, the online page was only available through a link, so you had to actually go into the browser to access it. This year, it can actually be pulled up through the app, so there's multiple ways to sell. So in addition to that, it's going to take the product and ship it directly to the customer. And with that being said, I do have to say that there is a shipping fee that the customer is going to have to pay, and that's like $7.99 for the first item, and then 99 cents for the remaining items. But what it does is it eliminates, one, not only a scout's exposure, but two, you don't have to worry about handling product or even cash. So that's a good thing about it. Now, in terms of benefits for leaders, there's no handling of products, and it ships directly to the customer. You don't have to worry about excess inventory, because we're only shipping and ordering exactly what we need. So because it never hits the unit level or the council level, there's no excess inventory. There's going to be no collecting of cash, because one, the Online Direct feature only takes credit cards or debit cards. But two, you don't want to handle cash anyway. With everything going around, money is one of the filthiest things you can touch. And so you don't want to take cash and then touch your face, and then you're in a whole lot of trouble that you don't want to be in. Four, it's less work for leaders. Like I said, you're not tracking down the inventory. You're not worrying about excess products. So make the sale and you're done. Not only that, the sales can be tracked through the app for accurate accounting, so you don't have to worry about counting cash or getting money from this person or this person. Everything's done in the app, no worries. And then last but certainly not least, by selling through Online Direct, the scouts are going to be able to earn some extra money. Right now, we're running a promotion from July 1st to August 15th, in which units who sell through Online Direct can get 5% of their sales back in Amazon gift cards. So if you have those scouts who are excited about the upcoming Xbox or, the upcoming PlayStation 5, or, you guys are trying to get extra money to buy things for scouting, this is a great opportunity to do so, because you're not only going to get these extra dollars from the Online Direct program, but then you're also going to get an early start to the sale as well. From a scout standpoint, again, there's no handling of cash or products. In addition to the promotion I just spoke to you about, we are running something else this year where any scout who sells through online direct is going to get double points for everything they sell. So if they sell $500 worth of inventory, they're actually going to get credit for $1,000 as long as they sold through the online direct. So that's another way that they're, one, not only getting more back, but two, it's going to get them faster to their rewards goal. Another benefit for scouts, it's a time saver, because now instead of maybe doing a traditional door-to-door thing, if a scout goes to the door, they can still, even if they don't have any products in their wagon, even if they don't have a take order form, they can still sell through the online direct, and it's going to go directly to the customer. And that's one less stop that they have to make in order to go back and deliver product. Another benefit is very easy to do. You're going to find this online direct button, but directly beneath the show and sell button in the app. And so all they have to do is click it, and it's going to bring up everything. And then not only that, there are a few extra items that aren't found at the traditional show and sell. So they're going to be able to kind of sell that a little more as well. And last but certainly not least, they can do it from the comfort of their own home. You really don't even have to step out of your house to sell. All you have to do is set up a page, and you can either blast a page on social media, or you can even text it to a relative or a friend and have that person distribute your link. So there's multiple things that you can do with this online direct. Now, the way it works is there's two different ways to sell online direct. The one is to share your page, which I spoke to. So, you share your page via email, text, or social media. The customer clicks the link to place the online orders, and that's it. The product ships directly to the customer. The second way is to take it from the app. So, if you don't want to share your link, you don't want to use it that way, but you want to take it with you to a storefront or a door, that's fine. You can bring up online direct on the app, allow the customer to pick their products, you take the payment, and again, it ships directly to the customer, and the scout's job is done. Now, in terms of rewards, what Trails In does for the rewards program is we do the Amazon reward program. The reason this is so cool is because it actually gives that sense of satisfaction. I always tell people this story where I liken it a lot to being an adult. We adults, we go out here, we work hard, and we do what we need to do every week. And then, at the end of the payment period, we get our checks. But can you imagine getting your check and then all of a sudden you're told, hey, great job this week, you really nailed it. But hey, here are the only things you can buy. Well, it's a lot like that. We understand the appeal of having physical prizes because you can get together, make it an event, and everyone's happy. But a lot of times with some of these prizes, it's a lot of extra work, whether you're trying to track down a prize order sheet, or a prize doesn't come in, a prize gets broken, someone never gets their prize. It's just a lot of headache. But with the Trails In Rewards program, you get these Amazon gift cards, and a scout can literally buy whatever they want. And I travel the Northeast a lot, and some of the stories I hear are just absolutely crazy. One story I heard last year, a kid got a vending machine and started a business. I didn't even know Amazon had vending machines. Another story is a kid claimed that he worked so hard during the sale that he not only had enough money to get himself a recliner for his room, but he also got a refrigerator so he didn't have to go downstairs to get a drink when he's doing this gaming. So the options are endless. But the reason why scouts love Trails In Rewards is one, bigger prizes. Two, again, I spoke to, there's millions of prizes on Amazon. So ultimately a scout can get whatever they want. And I don't know about you guys, but I have a son who's a scout, and he sells here at the Anthony Wayne Council. And every week he's bugging me for V-Bucks for Fortnite, So I told him, if you really want Fortnite V-Bucks that bad, here's your opportunity to earn them. So he goes out and he sells his popcorn, and he takes his rewards cards and he buys V-Bucks. So it's going to keep a little money in the parents' pockets also, if you have kids like that. Another cool thing about it is that the prizes ship directly to the scouts, so they're going to get it faster. And this year through online direct, they can earn double points. So it's like getting twice the amount for doing half the work, So that's another benefit. And last but certainly not least, the scout selects what they want. So at the end of the day, after they made their sale and they're done with everything and they submit for their reward, their Trails In Rewards, they're going to get the exact thing they want, and they're going to feel that sense of satisfaction because one, they didn't have to come to the parents to get it, and two, they earned it through sheer hard work. They earned it through sending out their making the sale and doing it, giving it their all. And that's kind of a cool thing to see. Once you see your kid get their prize and you're like, man, you know, I earned this, I did this. It's a really cool thing to see. In terms of why leaders love the Trails and Rewards program, it saves time because you don't have to handle and distribute the physical prizes, which I spoke to. Orders are tracked automatically for leaders when scouts sell through the app. So you kind of really know where everyone stands in terms of how close they are to their goal or how much more they need to sell in order to get there. The online direct, storefront, and wagon sales all count towards the Trails and Rewards. So no matter how you sell, it's all going towards the rewards program. And the cool thing about this is a scout can literally sell, let's say, $1,150, and they can sell that at a storefront, and they decide that they're done. Well, they can easily be sitting at the house and they're still making sales on their online page. And so even if they've already submitted for their reward card and they received it, if they're still making online sales and it's still pushing them to those next tiers, they're going to get the difference as well. So it's going to keep bumping them up and keep chewing them up until they get everything that they've exactly earned, even if they've already submitted for rewards. And last but certainly not least, Trails In is going to help train and motivate the scouts through the app features. So even if you're not able to make a webinar and you still feel like you don't know what to do, right in the app itself is training features that are going to help you and kind of walk you through. And those come in the form of videos. Now, I spoke to the rewards points. Here's a little bit of how it breaks down. So as you can see, you get the double points for the online direct. And then even if you don't sell through online direct, but if you sell at a traditional storefront or, you know, door to door, as long as you're taking credit cards, the scouts are going to earn 1.5 times points. So they don't have to really, if they not pushing an online sale too much, that's all right. They're still going to earn extra just by taking debit or credit cards. And then as you can see, the prize flyer is just the opportunity to show a scout what they can get. It doesn't necessarily mean these are the only things they can get. Now, last but certainly not least, our Facebook communities. So with last year, what we wanted to do was we wanted to create an environment in which different people who were new to the sale or familiar with the sale could come and kind of get together and talk popcorn, you know. And this thing really turned into something that we just did not expect. One of the cool things I was seeing is that people were really swapping ideas, you know. So whether it's, hey, what kind of pitch do you use? Or, hey, what's the best way to show up what's the best way to set up the storefront display? You saw a lot of swapping of ideas. One of the things that I noticed more than anything is that the Northeast really seems to mingle with like the folks in Texas. And you just saw some really cool things going on. You saw people getting pitches, and they were doing so much as to even create small videos and show you how to get your popcorn to stand up, or show you how to set up your displays so that it draws the most attention. It was really awesome. So last year we had over 18,000 members, and people who were members of the Facebook group roughly grew roughly 5 to 5.5%, which was awesome. Scouts and leaders got fast, accurate answers to their questions 24/7. And that's probably the best part about the Facebook group, simply because sometimes, especially if you're new to the sale, you know, you might have questions and you reach out to the council, but things are just so hectic at the council that no one can get back to you as quickly as you'd like. Well, if you throw that question on the Facebook group, you're not only going to get an answer within roughly 3 minutes, but you're going to get like 50 answers within 3 minutes. Because if there's one thing that people love to do is to help people, especially if you're new to the sale. So that was pretty cool. And then last but certainly not least, unit leaders and scout parents got real-time best practices and tips from peers and Trails In experts. So even if you weren't getting answers to your questions from people who were in the sale in other states, you were getting them from Trails In personnel, because we have personnel working the site and they're on there pretty much 24/7 to help you out. This year, we're going to be doing some things differently, where we're going to be having more live events. So that may show up in the form of a giveaway or a quick webinar or a trivia. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to have the opportunity to earn more prizes as well. If you're not a member of the Facebook community, I encourage you to do so, because anything that we do regarding popcorn goes on there extremely fast. And sometimes it goes on there faster than I find out about it. I got blindsided a few weeks ago where someone was talking on a webinar, someone was talking on a video conference about something they saw on Facebook, and it was something I hadn't even heard about yet. So the information goes on there very quickly. If you'd like to join, you can do so at www.facebook.com/groups/TE Popcorn Community, or you can simply text Facebook to 262771. And with that, hopefully I didn't put anyone to sleep. I thank you guys for having me, and that is all I have for you from a Trails End standpoint. Thank you.
Hello, this is Art Lobdell, your Assistant Scout Executive. Wanted to thank Vincent for being with us here tonight. Also wanted to be the first to be able to announce our commission structure for Trails End this year. So one of the benefits of the new deal we have with our new company is we are actually able to increase the base commission. So in the past, all units had made 30% commission. This year, we're calling it the Welcome Back to Trails End commission. The new base commission is 32%. So that units will be starting with that rather than 30. And then all of the other incentives will still add to the same as it did in the past. Will still add up to that 37% total, but will include all of 32% right off the beginning. Then the Be Prepared bonus, all this will be in writing, of course, which is having a unit kickoff and all your materials before the 18th of September, and having app sales between July 1st and August 31st. Use the tech, attend the Trails End webinar, use the app, and then Thrifty, which is having your payment on the payment schedule. So all that will be in writing, but I did want to give you all that good news that the base commission is 32%. Also, folks were concerned, just one of the products I'll unveil now is we do have a New England Patriots tin that will be limited sales, but is available. So wanted to make sure that the news started to percolate out through the council that we have a New England Patriots product this year. But you need to get those early because sales will be limited. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you.
You're muted, Greg.
Well, thank you, John. Well, that brings us to the end of the formal part of our program launch 2020 online. What we are going to do now is to open up some breakout rooms for folks to go to if they so choose. And it is broken up by folks from the Appalachian Trail, the General Knox, and Metacomet District, as well as Council. And just some time to socialize, Cracker Barrel, if you will. Certainly no obligation to stay there. Also want to let you know that the packet has been uploaded to the website. So it is there for you to grab. It's a 70+ page resource for you. And if things are sent to me, I'll try to add some more and indicate that as a second binder as well. And we certainly wish that we had an opportunity to talk with everybody. With this number of people, it simply won't work. So with that, I'm going to say thank you and good night. And if you'd like to join a breakout room, you may do so when invited on the screen. Thank you. And although it says that the breakout rooms are set up, they don't seem to be.